My government name is Alma Kakigepenes. And I'm from Seging. I belong to the Eagle clan and to the Bear clan.
And you're an elder here?
I am called an elder. We never really admit because it's prideful. And I need to stay humble to keep the gifts open. They call me an elder.
Yeah. So, Alma, I was driving around the other day and listening to the radio, and I heard you come on the radio. Of course, I've seen all the news about Kamloops and Saskatchewan, the residential schools, and it was an interview with you from here at the Sacred Fire, and I was so moved. I was so moved because you used a phrase that I've never heard anybody use before, which was settler descendants. But you said it in such a grace-filled way. In fact, you invited the settler descendants to come to this place. Why did you do that?
The morning I got the news and it started circulating, I was instantly triggered back to the day of the school and all the actions that were done on me by adults who were supposed to educate us. And I was severely triggered. I laid in bed for days and cried until the youth leaders, this is a youth-led movement here, and they asked me, because my bundles are intact and I've recovered some of my language, 215 were my babies too. And as soon as I heard it was on a residential school ground, I was triggered back to my days. I was severely abused in the school in ways that I know most Christians I know right now are settler descendants, and they are not responsible. When I talked about the settler descendants, it's because I adopted a man, Mr. Peters, and he taught me about the pain of settler descendants. He'd been trying every way he can think of to make up for what was done to Anishinaabe, to my people. And because through that man I met other settler descendants, and they have equal pain. So when this news hit and I curled up in a ball and cried for 3 days, and I couldn't eat or drink, I was in so much pain, and I became even suicidal that third night, until 2 youth called me and said, "Hey Alma, let's have a healing fire." Everybody in my ceremony circles has known me as a fire keeper, and keeping the fire is my job, has been my job since I was 4 years old. Anishinaabe, we have 4 sacred laws. You have 10 commandments. We have 4 sacred laws, and they are faith. You have to have rock hard faith. The way you do, I see it in your eyes. We have to have faith, we have to be kind, we have to use caring and sharing, and ultimately most, we have to be honest. When I'm honest, I think bad things were done to me, and a whole bunch, and that what happened in Kamloops is just, this is happening now. It isn't in some distant past, it's now, and it's a wake-up call. We all need to get together now and cause a path of healing.
So you don't have anger towards the settler descendants?
If my grandfather did something to you, why am I responsible? And so I turn it to them. My grandparents made mistakes too, and my parents, they were wounded from the residential school. I learned through ceremony to forgive it. I danced for 12 years under the Sundance tree. That is a very strong, powerful ceremony. So you're saying, you mentioned earlier, you said I'm a woman of character. Well, yeah, when you go to the Sundance and sacrifice yourself, you develop the character. I'm Eagle Clan, and of the teachings we have, of the clan teachings we have, Eagle represents love. You have to carry love teachings.
So every time the news breaks of another residential school and the unmarked graves, as a settler descendant, there's a wave of fear and guilt and unsettledness that happens in me. And I know the trauma. I've seen some of the trauma that happens in the Indigenous people. What's it going to take for this reconciliation to become real?
Before any nation can reconcile, one has to come to the other and say, I'm sorry I stepped on your toe. I take accountability. And then the other person doesn't feel so bad about being, and I think that was my healing. Because there were actually ministers who came and cried to me. They recognized me as one of the leaders of the people. First, I have to come and say, I'm sorry. Which I'm talking nationhood, not just personal.
Is that the Prime Minister? Is that the Pope? Is that priests? Is that nuns? Is that me?
All of them.
Yeah.
You didn't do it and your church didn't do it. But the churches that did is a matter of record. It's in the record somewhere which church was in each area doing what they did. And everybody's holding I've noticed, are holding Catholic Church responsible. But it wasn't just Catholic, there were other orders. And I think that each order in the records would be, if they really want to cause a reconciliation, they have to have the truth.
Does it mean anything when I come to a place like this and to someone like you and say, I am so sorry. I wasn't there. I know it wasn't our denomination, but I am so sorry that this happened to you and your people. Does that mean anything?
It means to me, when they talk, the general public, we talk about intergenerational trauma. It's not just from the people who suffered in those schools and their descendants. It's from the ones who did it. They look at themselves, well, geez, I'm Blue Eyes too. I'm the Light Eyes Nation too. And a good heart feels guilt is what I think. And so I ask people to, yes, take that and say, I've benefited from this system and we need to change it because it's hurting somebody still. Not only did it cause Anishinaabe, Inuit, Eskimo, and Métis to suffer, it caused their descendants to feel so ashamed of being the light-eyed nation. And I can't hate, not just because my sacred bundles say I should walk a certain way. I was created this way. The Creator, since I was young, gave me a spirit that forgives. Will get angry and hurt, but forgives in the end.
Does it mean anything when organizations put a plaque up that says, we recognize that this is part of the...
It means a lot to me.
Really?
Yeah.
The treaties, treaty acknowledgement.
Treaty acknowledgement. The Treaty 1 was signed by my great-great-great-great-grandfather. It makes me feel better to hear the other nation is saying, we did wrong. And you're asking too, what can we do to make it better? How can we help? Because now everybody knows, and because of the 215 children, I think it's okay. I don't think God would get mad at you if you came to the fire and offered tobacco. I don't think they'd get mad if you came and sang your hymns here. That's what the reconciliation is. We should all allow each other the beliefs with respect. And I respect that people believe in Christ. Yeah, miigwech.
And I respect that you were here first, your people were here first, and there was a treaty made that was not fair at all. And there was many wrongs that were done. And that wasn't that long ago. That was only...
That's 1871.
Yeah, it was not that long ago at all when you look at history.
They were starved.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yes.
They were starved. That's why they signed it.
I've done a little bit of study to know that there was many wrongs done. And again, to be a descendant of that, there is something we need to own. Absolutely, and there needs something we need to voice.
Please don't beat yourselves up.
No, but
it hurt me so much to see her cry.
Yes, but there's freedom that comes by confessing and owning it.
Bingo.
Right? And then
that's what I meant, the truth and reconciliation. Yeah. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Now let's reconcile.
Thank you so much, Alma, for having this conversation. And I will say it again, you are a woman of deep character, and the grace that you extended even through that radio interview and the grace you extended now is powerful. And it is just such an invitation to reconciliation. And I love it. I love that you've taught me how to hug in your way, and we've had this conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.